I trained myself in business.
Yes.
I was able to pick up in the hurt and the pain and continue.
The franchise, she didn't start, but built it from inside out.
That was like somebody stuck a knife through me because I was going through this tremendous change in my life.
Climbing from the ground floor to owning the whole thing.
What I do is not for everybody.
But there's a twist. Tell the female entrepreneurs out there.
What happens is women, because it is in our natural nature to submit, there's a subservient kind of relationship that tends to happen, especially when you work with a strong man.
From growing Golden Homes into a national brand, expose the problem that most owners don't even know they have.
Everybody's got the same problem. None of us are relevant.
Yvonne found herself in a world where Google search was being rewritten by AI.
Blog site. Why would a business need a blog site? That was total.
So she built the solution herself. Zahavah Studios.
If your outflow exceeds your inflow, your upkeep will be your downfall.
Okay. Today she's one of the sharpest minds in South Africa.
95% of businesses fail because the founder does not know how to manage money.
In the new era of AI search.
The system speaks for itself. Suppose maybe that's because I'm a woman and, we actually follow directions.
100%. Okay, so in studio today, I've got Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne.
Hi, Nick. Good to be here.
So Yvonne, serial entrepreneur, Golden Homes, Zahavah, you've been doing a lot.
Yes.
We've also got, a lot of CEOs and people that have been running companies and, things have changed.
Yeah.
So tell us, you've been in business a long time.
I have been in business where I've been personally involved in a business brand for 26 years, Golden Homes.
And Golden Homes is a pretty successful real estate company in the South African market.
Yes, it is. It is.
And loved by many.
Loved by many. It is a little franchise organization,
Awesome.
Which is in the process of growing. Long-standing, successful little company.
We'll drop a link below. You guys want to get your house evaluated, goldenhomes.co.za. One of our mantras here at Mont Blanc and in Mont Blanc Academy, we want to support those that support us. Whole nother episode for another time, okay, about symbiotic relationships. You've been a client of Mont Blanc for a long time. We've always been clients of yours in various forms as you've had businesses. I think I even bought a house from Golden Homes.
Yes, you did.
Way in the day. Awesome.
We remember the pool and everything.
100%. So you now embarked on a new endeavor. You're also an author, blogger, a writer. Is there anything you don't do?
There's lots I don't do, but let's keep that off camera.
Okay, so I think today I really want to dig into the AI part of your business. And I know everyone slaps a label. Talking about AI, talk about marketing, okay?
Yes.
And in specific online marketing. I don't like to use the word social media marketing, but you were correcting me when we were talking about it. What do you call what you do when it comes to bringing eyeballs to a website, driving traffic?
You can do a lot with AI.
Okay.
So what happened and how I got into this space?
Yes.
Was that I was updating my own blogging site. I wanted to make sure that my page was optimized or was correct, and I didn't want to go to a developer. I was in the process of writing my first book, and I was looking at the website and how am I going to promote the book, all these funny little things.
Yeah.
In my conversation with my little ChatGPT, it told me I needed to connect my sitemap to Google Console. I'd never heard of those things in my life.
Sitemap. What is a sitemap?
So a sitemap is a little code that goes on your website and it connects to Google Consoles. These two need to talk to one another. It's a handshake between your website and Google so that Google can index you and that Google knows that you exist.
Okay.
So I did that. And for me being a complete non-techie, I typed this little word done into the chat, much like a naughty badge. And it came back to me and said, well, congratulations, because 95% of all businesses never do this. And I remember looking at the statistic and going, really?
Now just rewind. So you mapped your site.
Yes.
Okay, nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Why does one map a website?
Because if you don't map the website,
Yeah.
Google doesn't index you. They don't know you exist. So you have a website, It's like floating out in space.
Okay.
It's not connected to anything. It's just out there in the digital ether. But as soon as you connect the site and you have a handshake between your Google console, it's a private little thing between you and Google, where Google gives you your statistics
Okay.
as to how your website is performing and what is happening. And then Google gets to know who you are.
Okay.
And at least you are indexed, and Google says, tick, I know Mont Blanc. But 95%, the statistic that I got back, of all businesses never do this, which means 95% of websites are disconnected. And so further to that, I sort of just left it because my focus was, how am I going to take Golden Homes national? That was my vision, that was my dream, but my hobby was my blog site. And then we were doing a training session in Golden Homes where we were watching a group of realtors from the States all talking about what social media platforms they like working with the most.
Okay.
There was one gentleman sitting at the table who was very quiet, who just wasn't talking and wasn't engaged, and eventually he was asked, and he said, guys, I've listened to everything that you've said. Don't neglect the blog site. Blog site. Why would a business need a blog site? That was total. And that took me down this road of research,
A rabbit hole.
as to why I need a blog site.
Okay.
And I realized that Golden Homes, number one, also didn't have a sitemap.
So ping, you made the sitemap.
I did the sitemap.
Hashtag sitemap.
And then I found out that I've got to link to Bing, which is Webmaster and Clarity as well. So then I went down the road to get that done. And then I began to look at, how do I get a blog page going on my Golden Home site.
What's a blog page? Sorry, just for the audience, what's a blog page?
A blog page is simply a page sitting on your website. It's in your navigation bar.
Yep.
You call yours Knowledge Center. I call mine on Zahavah as articles. On Golden Homes, it's called blogs. So it has different terminology, but it is the same thing. All it is articles that are written deep. These are 1,000 plus words. So there's a lot of authority and a lot of content that is sitting on that. And then those pages interlink with one another. So they talk to one another and they talk to the main page. This whole conversation should be happening on your page. And what happens is Google and the LLMs, or the large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whichever AI you're really using, all right, they are looking at how these pages are constructed. How do they talk to one another? Is there information on there that they can readily extract and give to their customer? And I think where we sometimes make a mistake is we think that the client out there today that is searching on Google or on a ChatGPT, that those are our customers. They're actually not your customer anymore.
So who owns them?
Google owns them.
Okay.
Bing owns them. The language model owns them. And they then search the web. They search for the different websites to see who is conforming to Google's helpful content system. And you have to understand that as a website is conformed to that system, it begins to get recognized by the language models as well as by Bing. So if you're optimized for Google, you are automatically optimized for Bing in the structure, as long as, of course, you're connected to Bing. Your content, how your website is structured and set up with its content, is going to determine whether the search engines, being Google or Bing or Perplexity, or a language model, being Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, whichever one you want to use, they are still looking at a website. So there's a lot of hype out there. Websites are dead. No. Websites are more alive today and more important today.
Except it's not just humans reading websites.
That is where it's moved.
So your website needs to be optimized for AI to be interested in it.
The first entity
Yes.
that is going to see your website today is going to be a bot.
Okay.
And that bot is going to determine whether the client that has asked it a question is going to get your name or not.
So are we moving to where no one goes to a website, you just keep conversing with your AI, getting the stuff served up to you within your AI panel, the orchestration layer, the harness, whatever you want to call it? The human's not really going to go to your site.
No.
Digitally, the AI is going to go to your site.
Yes.
Surface that data to me when I'm searching for it.
Yes.
Okay, or those pictures that are there. And then I'm going to
Yes.
make a decision actually with my AI.
Yes, you are.
I'm not really going to make that decision on that site.
No.
Shout out here, let's do a punt. What's your website?
Zahavahstudio.com.
Zahavahstudio.com. We're putting it here, guys. We're linking it below. You want to know more, get it out there. By the way, while you're doing all of this, like and subscribe if you're getting some value here. Now, you've started to specialize in writing content on websites, specifically for your AI animals.
Yes.
Their names are Chat, Grok, Claude. Okay, so that's your little family that you want them looking at your customers' websites, and
Yes.
you've catered how you blog and write
Yes.
for them.
Absolutely.
Without giving away the secret sauce here, okay? Why is that different to me just writing a blog? Sort of little insurance topic that I feel is good, like trucking insurance, and why one must have trucking insurance, and a little picture of a truck, and there it is. I mean, I'm just saying this is how it's been done for many years.
Where it's different to you just writing a blog. So in the past, it was done like that. All right, the crawlers or the bots or the little bunnies that are running around trying to find this Monty scurrying through the bushes there.
Yeah.
It used to be backlinks. The more backlinks you had, the more your domain authority was increased. And the more times you used this particular keyword caused you to rank.
Okay.
Okay, so trucking insurance.
Yes.
So your competition had trucking insurance in their little blog that they wrote, and they mentioned it 10 times, so they were sitting on page 1. So you come along and you look at that and you say, well, I'm going to say 11. So you put the word in 11 times, and now suddenly you're ranking. But that became known as keyword stuffing, because now everybody's trying to put in as many keywords, that particular keyword, as they can. Keywords are still important. But a keyword today, it's the phrasing around the keyword that has become far more important.
Okay.
Okay, so you can sit there and say, I need trucking insurance, and you're going to get everybody. There's huge competition where that terminology is concerned. But if you say, I'm looking for trucking insurance for a fleet of 18-wheelers, now you've become niche specific.
Yes.
Because now you're targeting somebody who has a fleet of 18-wheelers. And immediately you're the only one answering the question.
Okay.
So it's answering the public. Your whole site now is an educational site. And are you answering the questions that the public is asking?
So, what would you tell people that are maybe starting out, or they've been going a few years, they're trying to have that step growth, they've hit a plateau, they've got the clients they've got, and they feel the answer is, let me pay for Google ads, let me just pump up the ad spend, and I'm going to get lots of business.
Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, they have their place, all right? And they can draw immediate customers to you. So I don't want to say that that is not important. It is an aspect of a business, all right? But again, choose whether you're going to go the whole hog or you're going to specialize in one. There's a lot of different ways. From a search engine and an LLM, they look at your social media profile. They don't look at your ads.
Okay.
They want to know, are you a real live active business? This is the first thing that they want to do. And by the way, let me just inject that. You know your little map on your Google Maps?
Yeah.
All right. That is number one. If that's not correct and your information is not correct on there, and your information, your name, your address and your phone number are not consistent against over all your social media, your business directories, wherever you feature, it's a negative.
As an entrepreneur, go onto your phone now, have a look, search for your own business on Google Maps. Is it correct? Is it right? Okay, I think some people are not even aware that this is such an important thing.
It's hugely important, all right?
Okay.
And the other thing there is that Google is looking for 10 to 12 fresh images or posts per month. This talks to Google. So we've got to learn to talk to the AIs.
Okay, so I suppose this is also why you go to an expert. You know, a
Yes.
company comes to you because you're getting the results.
Yes.
Okay. Off air, we were talking a little bit of, typically when you take on a client, you write me some blogs. The business just start coming in?
No.
I mean, how long does this take?
I started with you 9 months ago.
Right.
All right. So you did have a page 1 ranking,
Yes.
which was Mont Blanc Financial Services.
Okay, so yay, our own name was ranking number 1 for ourselves.
And then let me interject this and say, this, what I do, is not for everybody.
Okay.
There are a lot of businesses out there that are happy with the status quo. This is for companies that have a long-term goal for longevity. If that is not your goal,
Don't do it.
stop the video. This is not for you.
Yeah. Go watch a cat video, guys. Okay, it's not for you.
I need to be honest, it's not a cheap service. It's a specialized service.
We need to proposition this as well, is if you are not a company that's trying to build brand authority,
Yeah.
okay, and also content authority on whatever you're in. So if you're a plumber, electrician, if you're a whatever you want, and you want to come up consistently there when people ask about your type of business, and you want to be there for years, then do this. If you're looking for a quick fix, I think just pump a little bit of Google ads. And what's the difference between organic ranking and ads? Just for
All right. So ads, if you go onto Google,
Yeah.
all right, and you put in whatever it is that you are searching, you're always going to come with some ads at the top. Okay, these are people that have paid for an ad. You'll see it says sponsored.
yes,
So Google, because of its terms and conditions, must put you on page 1 if you have paid for an ad. So now I've never done that. It's a bit like a cattle market, I think. Goes to the highest bidder or whatever.
Yes, it
is.
does.
I have not paid a dime to Google ads. I'm not saying that they're not relevant, but it's a business expense.
okay,
And once that expense is finished, it's finished. It's like the coffee machine. Bye-bye coffee until you replenish it. Your content, when you start to build that according to Google's helpful content system, I mean, it's out there. It's on Google's website. It's not hidden. Google tells you exactly what you need to be doing. So why aren't we doing it? It's a lot of work. For example, with what you're doing with me, you are paying for content, but you're paying for all the entire engine that goes behind creating this in such a way that you actually do begin to feature. So page search always sits at the top of page 1, and you will see that it says sponsored, that you pay for.
Okay.
All right, and Google is obligated to give that to you.
Okay.
Beneath that, you start finding your little blue links,
Yes.
is what they're called, all right? You start seeing the organic companies,
Okay.
those who rank organically.
And why are they ranking there?
They are ranking there because they have produced content that the AI in the past was able to source.
Or your search engine feels is relevant to what I'm searching for?
Exactly. Although, I mean, that's page 1 ranking. You're not going to just get there overnight. Your AI overview, those AI overviews are taken from organic.
Okay.
Right. So the search engines are looking at the organic page 1, not at the paid page 1.
Okay.
So you need to be sitting on page 1 because nobody's going to page 2.
Okay, I'm a bit of a weirdo. Like I'll push page 7.
Okay.
Okay, like I just want to find out what's living there. Okay, so that's me.
Some sea monster.
And I must say, to your testimony, Mont Blanc has started regularly ranking on page 1 on a lot of the topics that we are blogging on. Authority score's gone right up.
Your authority score has gone up. When we started in the middle of September, when I discovered you, you were sitting down on page 9. You were in Google's Outer Darkness.
Google's outer darkness. This is a word Yvonne loves to use.
I do like
She
it.
loves this statement. Okay, so are you in Google's outer darkness?
Now, at the end of last month, when we did the update on the 28th of June from your own business Google console, not something I have fabricated, these are real stats that you can go into and check. Of the blog pages that we have created, 34 are sitting now on Google's page 1, 9 months later. This is a process that takes 9 to 12 months. It's a long process. You're paying for a compounding asset. And these blogs that have been written and structured correctly will still perform for you 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. Yes, obviously we will do refreshes and we will do updates because things change. A new law can come out or things like that. We watch for those things and then we obviously update accordingly, or you let me know.
Yes.
Okay, like Devon said, please write us an article on Arto or Sasria. I remember we wrote Sasria,
Yes.
which is sitting on page 1, by the way.
Awesome. Awesome.
So this is what's happened. Golden Homes is sitting with 28, and then I have my attorney. So these are the 3 companies right now that I have permission to use openly on my website. I think she's sitting at 14. We only started with her beginning of February.
Okay.
All right, so the system speaks for itself. I just followed the system. I suppose maybe that's because I'm a woman and, we actually follow directions.
100%. People are spending a lot of time talking to their AI agent.
Yes.
I mean, some think it's their girlfriend. So the thing is, I don't know how many people are moving past searching, in insurance, let's say, cheap trucking insurance. And they talk to their ChatGPT and push enter. It comes back with some American results, and then I say, okay, in Johannesburg, and then it filters it a bit. But I actually saw that nothing's really coming up there when I was searching. It seems like, people aren't really paying attention to that. They don't understand that's where the cheeses move to.
So your LLMs are becoming stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
They're still far away from Google search. Google still dominates,
Okay.
period.
Okay.
So let's not take away from why your website needs to be structured. But more and more of your small to medium and large enterprises,
Yeah.
CEOs that we are wanting to speak to, the decision makers that we're speaking to, they're all sitting on chats.
So your higher LSMs, if your target market is a more expensive product or sophisticated product, I suppose you need to be there then.
You need to be there.
Do you handle that?
I handle that for you. And it's all got to do with the way your site is structured
Okay.
and interconnected.
Being a businesswoman
Yes.
in a very male-dominated environment,
Yeah.
okay, speak to the audience about what you can tell the female entrepreneurs out there, the challenges with working with men, strong personalities. We've had CEOs sit here, talk to us about, their shareholders, how decisions are made.
Yeah. Many times what happens is women, because it is in our natural nature to submit, not that you're second. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying you're second, but there's a subservient kind of relationship that
Okay.
tends to happen, especially when you were with a strong man. I had a boss in Golden Homes. He was my husband.
Okay.
Frustrating things for me. Okay. And technically I worked for him.
Right.
When Dave chose to start SA Golden Homes as a franchise organization, he wanted me to read certain books, which I didn't want to read
Okay.
because I had a religious philosophy and they were not Christian books. So why should I read a non-Christian book?
Didn't resonate with you.
Not at all. All right. But of course, it became a contentious issue. He said, I want to go this route and you need to get on the same page as me.
Okay.
The first one I had to read was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Great book, by the way.
Great book.
We're going to put a link below.
Recommended reading.
Here it is, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Poor Dad. And I remember reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I sat there and I said, well, this is all very well and all very great, but I'm a married woman.
Okay.
That was my mindset. But something started to change in my own concept and in my own mind. Then I had to read Robert Kiyosaki, The Cash Flow Quadrant.
I remember that
And
book.
get an understanding of really how business finance works. Dave and I were in exclusive books the one day and I saw a book there by Kim Kiyosaki on
Okay.
Rich Woman. Oh,
Rich woman, maybe not known by too many.
Rich Woman. I remember getting the book, and right in the beginning of the book, she had a statistic there that 78% of American women, we're talking about, who helped their husbands get to where they are, looked after the kids, worked. By the time they reach their 50s, 60s, hubby goes off with someone else,
The younger one.
and they end up on the rubbish heap, literally, with nothing, because they never took care of finances. They thought that their husband was taking good care of them. Then the divorce happens and everything is tied up in corporates and they walk away with nothing. And of course the relationship is over, so, who cares? And that was like somebody stuck a knife through me.
Because it resonated with you.
It
You thought, well, what
resonated.
happens to me?
It resonated with me because I realized
You
Don't
could be
have-
vulnerable. You don't have your own stuff.
and that was a real paradigm shift for me.
Okay.
After that, I then went to Dave and I said, I want my own Golden Homes franchise under the franchise group, but it's mine,
Amen.
okay? And I did that.
So that was your first taste of independence?
That was my first taste of independence, and that's 15 years ago.
Okay.
It could be more than that, could be 16. Anyway, thereabout. And I went off and I started that. And he didn't make it easy for me. He said, okay. I said, if you want to do this nonsense, all right, you better
Nonsense,
believe I
yeah.
want to do this nonsense. He said, I will fund you, but I'm going to be your 25% shareholder. Okay, and from day one, you're going to pay 50% of all the household expenses. I will keep a track record, and you owe me. Yes, I was livid. Nick, I could have killed him. All right, because I've worked for the man.
Yes, you were actually his partner.
I was his partner. I was bringing in money. I was
Bringing up the kids.
bringing up the kids, working as an estate agent, managing the office. But again, coming back to this was the paradigm shift.
So you accepted that deal?
I accepted the deal because I didn't have a choice.
Okay.
And I did need some funding because I have to pay for adverts and I have
Yeah, sure. You had to start a business
I
within a
had to
business.
start with that. The first thing I did was make sure that I got out of the office and I got out of his space. So I went to a friend who had seriously a little Wendy house in their backyard.
I love that startup, eh? Wendy House.
If you take the desk, if you take this desk and you cut it in here, that was the size of my desk. I was able to put my laptop there and a little printer. That was it. And that was where I started.
15 years ago.
15 years ago. Okay, it was winter, I was freezing.
Wendy House was
I was
cold.
upset, I would cry, because I was going through this tremendous change in my life. But then people started to come to me to work with me. All right, and my agreement with Dave was that as soon as I could support myself and pay 50% of the household expenses, I could tell him he's no longer my partner.
Okay.
And 3 months later, I walked in and I said, goodbye. You and I are no longer in partnership. I can
Okay.
handle everything on my own. I had my own first business. 6 months after that, my pipeline was greater than his. So remember, he kept everything that we had built up, stayed with him, and I earned more than him.
That must have been interesting.
It was very interesting, but interesting to the point that eventually he came to me and he said, you handle finance better than I do. You need to take over the finances. Everything in life is about compounding.
Yes.
When I first started the business, I had read The Richest Man in Babylon.
Let's put that up here. The richest man in Babylon. I love it.
If you don't read that and you don't apply that principle, you are not going to compound your wealth.
Okay.
All right? It teaches you how to put money away and start compounding. Okay? And so I began to put that into practice. And slowly over the years, I built up. When COVID hit, we were debt free. I was able to carry myself completely with the business and the household for 6 months without an income, all right, and had started an investment portfolio, all right.
Amazing.
I eventually then took over Dave's personal branch, can I put it that way?
Yes.
Not SA Golden Home. His own
Own
little
franchise.
franchise under the franchise group. I took that over and I amalgamated the two. Probably about 7 years ago. Dave backed away from SA Golden Homes and said, you need to take over and become the CEO of SA Golden Homes. And so I've been the CEO probably for 7 years or so.
Okay. Awesome.
Hence the vision of how do I take it,
How do you grow it?
how do I grow it, how do I take it forward? And coming back to the statistic, sad one, from Kim Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
I am one of those statistics.
Okay.
And if I hadn't have done what I did 15 years ago,
You would have been on the proverbial rubbish dump.
out on my ear, on the rubbish dump, not knowing where to turn. But because I trained myself in business,
Yes.
I was able to pick up in the hurt and the pain and continue.
It's a powerful
And there's
story,
one last
yeah.
thing I
Yes.
want to leave. I advocate this with every staff member that comes into my organization.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Okay? If you do not know how to balance a cash book, it's the first thing you learn. If you do not know how to manage money, 95% of businesses fail because the founder does not know how to manage money. Not because he doesn't know.
More money in than money out.
As they say, okay, if your outflow exceeds your inflow, your upkeep will be your downfall.
Downfall. Okay. I like that. We're going to put that here. And I also want to tell you, my late friend Bruce Tennyson used to say,
Yeah.
Don't keep yourself stupid. I liked it because it was simple in the fact that you decided to take the initiative and educate yourself, self-educate. Okay, I think a lot of people also don't understand that in a school, to a large part, universities don't really teach you how to run a business. That's why we started this channel, is to hear from entrepreneurs like yourself, okay, about, what it takes.
Yeah.
If you got into the DeLorean and you went back 20 years ago, what would you give your 20-year younger self? What advice would you give?
I would probably give myself the advice in watching what is happening in technology, particularly the internet, and how is the internet moving, and to stay abreast of what is happening. I think a lot of people are still stuck in what was before COVID. COVID changed everything. All right, and why I think I have been successful like I've been successful is I'm really a new broom.
Okay.
I didn't know anything, so I didn't get taught the rubbish.
Okay, so you don't have any legacy issues that you're trying to hang on to because you used to do it that way, because you weren't actually in, if I can use social media marketing. You were in real estate. You stumbled onto trying to solve these problems for yourself in your own business.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it was in my own business. And then as I started to do that, then there was one evening that I was sitting again, chatting with my ChatGPT, all right? And I sat there and I thought, you know what? I'm going to check Nick out. And that's exactly what I did. And I went to your website and I said, you got the same problem. And then I checked out some other people that I know. And I sat there and I said, it's true.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the same problem. Okay, none of us are relevant to Google or to AI. And that's when I saw the Zahavah opportunity.
And that's when you started Zahavah Studios.
And that's how I started Zahavah Studio, because I realized that what I was solving for me, and then now also solving for you, is a service that I could offer
100%.
to others and solve this problem for them.
Okay.
But it is a long-term process. Like we were saying off camera, when you look at ads, it's an expense. It's a business expense. It doesn't compound. Once the ad is finished, the audience with that ad,
They're gone.
they're gone. Bye-bye. They don't remember your name.
Give us the elevator pitch, Yvonne.
The elevator pitch
yes.
is that we make your business Google and AI's favorite.
You make our business Google and AI's favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yvonne, to sort of bring this to a culmination here, at the end of the day, the cheese has moved.
Yes,
Okay, and you need to move with the cheese.
you do.
Okay, and we did move with, because you showed us the cheese had moved.
Yeah.
And we are now ranking better than ever.
Yeah.
And so we want that for our clients.
Yes.
Okay, when you're a fresh startup,
Yeah.
you see things from new eyes, and you basically didn't have any hang-ups of the past. You weren't trying to use old methodology. In fact, you've said you've never paid for a Google ad for any one of your clients.
Never.
So you only know about how to get there to page one with using tools, if I can say it like that, AI tools, to speak to the AI and actually deliver the result for the client through an organic way.
Yes.
So if that's something that resonates with you guys, then get hold of Yvonne. Book a consult below. Okay, we're going to give you the link, and she's going to check out your site. She's going to critique it,
Yeah.
and be prepared to be surprised.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, there is.
Okay.